I deserve healthy, loving, and balanced relationships. And I want you to sit with that truth for a moment, my dear. Not as a wish, not as something distant, but as something that is already trying to find its way into your life. Take a slow breath with me, gently in and softly out, because I know something about you already. I know that somewhere inside your heart there has been a quiet ache, a longing not just to be loved, but to be loved in a way that feels safe, steady, and real. And maybe, just maybe, you've questioned yourself. Why does it feel so hard for me? Why do I keep attracting the same patterns? Why does love sometimes feel like something I have to earn or fight for or hold on to tightly so it doesn't slip away? My dear, come closer for a moment. Let me speak to that part of you that has been carrying these questions in silence. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are simply unlearning what love was never meant to be. Take another breath. Because the truth is, many of us were never taught what a healthy, loving, balanced relationship actually feels like. We were taught intensity. We were taught attachment. We were taught to confuse inconsistency with excitement and emotional distance with mystery. We were taught to chase instead of receive. And so, when something calm, stable, and genuine begins to appear, it can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. Have you ever noticed that? How peace can sometimes feel boring. How consistency can feel suspicious. How kindness can feel like it has an expiration date. And so, without even realizing it, we begin to pull away from the very thing we've been asking for. Not because we don't want love, but because our nervous system has memorized something else. My dear, this is where everything begins to shift. Because your life is not responding to what you say you want. It is responding to what you feel is familiar. And familiarity is often built in moments you didn't choose. In childhood, in past relationships, in the quiet ways you learn to adapt, to stay, to tolerate, to hope. So when you say, I deserve a healthy, loving, balanced relationship, I want you to understand something very gently. You are not trying to convince the world of this truth. You are remembering it within yourself. Because the moment you truly begin to feel it, not just think it, but feel it in your body, everything begins to reorganize. The way you respond changes. The way you choose changes. The way you allow things into your life changes. Take a breath. Let me explain this in a way your heart can understand. Imagine that your inner world is like a garden. For a long time, seeds were planted there without your awareness. Seeds of, I have to prove myself. Seeds of love comes with pain. Seeds of, I must stay even when it hurts. And over time, those seeds grew. They became patterns, reactions, expectations, not because you chose them, but because they were watered again and again through experience. Now, here you are, aware, awakening, and beginning to ask for something different: health, love, balance. But my dear, a new garden cannot grow if the old seeds are still being watered. So The shift is not about forcing new love into your life. It is about gently, patiently choosing what you continue to nurture inside yourself. And I know that might feel slow. You might be thinking, but I want it now. I'm ready now. And I hear you. I truly do. But let me ask you something softly. If the relationship you deeply desire appeared in your life today exactly as you imagine it, would you feel safe in it? Would you trust it? Would you allow yourself to receive it fully, without overthinking, without waiting for something to go wrong? Or would a part of you quietly brace, preparing for disappointment? There is no judgment here, my dear, only awareness. Because this is not about rushing toward love. It is about becoming someone who can live in it peacefully. Take another breath. This is where your power lives. Not in chasing the right person, but in becoming the version of yourself who no longer entertains what is not aligned with your worth. And this is an identity shift. Not when will I find love, but who am I becoming in relation to love? Are you becoming someone who abandons themselves to be chosen, or someone who remains rooted, even when something looks tempting but feels wrong? Are you becoming someone who overgives to be accepted, or someone who allows love to meet them halfway, naturally, effortlessly? This is the quiet transformation that changes everything. Because love, real love, does not require performance. It does not require shrinking. It does not require guessing. It feels like exhaling. It feels like coming home. And I want you to begin very gently to familiarize yourself with that feeling, even before it arrives externally. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and imagine yourself in a relationship where you feel safe, not anxious, not uncertain, not questioning your value, but safe, where your presence is appreciated, not tolerated, where your voice is heard, not dismissed, where your love is returned, not rationed. How does that feel in your body? Stay there for a moment, because this feeling, this calm, this steadiness, this is your new emotional baseline. And the more you return to it, the more your body begins to recognize it as normal, not rare, not temporary, but normal. And from this place, something very beautiful begins to happen. You stop chasing intensity, and you start choosing alignment. You stop overanalyzing behavior, and you start trusting how things feel. You stop asking, do they like me? And you begin to ask, do I feel respected, valued, and at peace here? Do you see the shift? It's subtle, but it changes everything. Take a breath. Now, I want to offer you something simple, something gentle, not something you have to force, but something you can return to again and again. A quiet reminder, a soft anchor. You can say it silently or whisper it to yourself. I deserve love that feels safe. I deserve consistency. I deserve to be chosen without confusion. I deserve to feel at peace. In someone's presence, let those words land slowly, because you are not trying to create a new truth. You are allowing an old truth one that has always been yours, to rise to the surface. And as you do this, something within you begins to relax. The urgency softens. The need to prove fades. The fear of what if it doesn't happen loosens its grip, because you begin to trust something deeper, that what is meant for you will not require you to betray yourself. My dear, you are not here to earn love. You are here to experience it fully, safely, and honestly. And I know there may still be parts of you that feel hesitant, parts that remember disappointment, parts that expect inconsistency, parts that wonder, what if this is just how it always is? And I want you to hold those parts gently, not push them away, not silence them, but reassure them, tell them softly, it's safe for me to experience a different kind of love now. Because healing is not about erasing your past. It is about no longer allowing it to define your future. Take a slow breath. You are changing. Even now, even as you listen to these words, something within you is shifting, recalibrating, opening. And you don't have to rush it. You don't have to force it. You simply have to continue, returning to yourself, to your worth, to your truth, to your quiet knowing that you deserve something real. And my dear, you do. You truly, deeply do. Take another slow breath with me, my dear, gently in and softly out. And just notice, something inside you has already softened, hasn't it? There is a quiet space opening, a space where you are no longer fighting so hard, no longer trying to force love to happen, no longer gripping so tightly to outcomes that were never meant to define you. Stay here for a moment, because this is where a deeper truth begins to reveal itself. You see, for so long, you may have believed that love was something you had to chase, something you had to prove yourself worthy of, something that required effort, sacrifice, and sometimes even losing parts of yourself just to keep it. But what if I told you, very gently, that the kind of love you are meant for does not respond to chasing. It responds to alignment. Let that settle into your heart, because chasing comes from a place of lack. It whispers, I need this, or I am incomplete. It creates urgency, pressure, anxiety. But alignment, oh, alignment feels different. Alignment says, I am already whole, and I allow what matches me to come closer. Do you feel the difference? One contracts your body, the other softens it. One makes you reach outward, the other brings you back home to yourself. And my dear, healthy, loving, balanced relationships, they are not built on urgency. They are built on emotional safety. They are built on two people who are not trying to complete each other, but are choosing each other from a place of wholeness. Now, I want you to gently reflect on something with me. Have there been moments in your life where you felt like you had to overextend yourself just to keep someone's attention? Moments where you gave more than you received, where you stayed silent about your needs, where you tolerated things that didn't feel right, just to avoid losing the connection. Take a breath. There is no shame here, only awareness. because those moments were not a reflection of your worth. They were a reflection of what you had learned about love. And now you are learning something new. You are learning that love does not require you to abandon yourself. You are learning that your needs are not too much. They are signals guiding you toward what is truly aligned. You are learning that the right connection will not make you question your value. It will remind you of it. Stay with me, because this next shift is important, and I want you to feel it, not just understand it. For a long time, you may have been focused on being chosen. Do they want me? Am I enough for them? Will they stay? But now, something within you is beginning to turn inward, gently, powerfully, and the question is changing. Now it becomes, do I feel safe here? Do I feel seen and respected? Does this connection nourish me or drain me? Do you see what's happening? You are no longer placing your worth in someone else's hands. You are reclaiming it. And this, my dear, is where your relationships begin to transform, not because the world suddenly changes, but because you do. Because when you no longer accept inconsistency, when you no longer chase validation, when you no longer ignore your own inner voice, you naturally begin to filter what enters your life, not through force, but through clarity. And clarity is a form of self-love. Take a slow breath. Now, I want to speak to something very tender within you, the part of you that still fears. What if I let go and nothing better comes? Yes, that quiet fear, that whisper that says, at least this is something, even if it's not everything. My dear, come closer for a moment. That fear is not your truth. It is your conditioning. It was built in moments where love felt uncertain, where stability felt rare, where holding on felt safer than letting go. But you are not in those moments anymore. You are here, aware, growing, becoming. And the truth is, holding on to what is misaligned does not protect you from loneliness. It prolongs it, because you can be surrounded by someone and still feel unseen. You can be in a relationship and still feel disconnected. You can be chosen and still feel unworthy. And you deserve more than that. You deserve a love that meets you fully, openly, consistently. Take a breath. Let's go a little deeper now. Because there is something else that often hides beneath the surface, something many people don't talk about. The fear of receiving. Yes, receiving. It sounds strange at first, doesn't it? But think about it. If you have spent most of your life giving, proving, earning, adjusting, then receiving steady, unconditional love can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. You might find yourself questioning it. Why are they being so kind? What do they want from me? When will this change? And without realizing it, you begin to create distance. Not because you don't want love, but because your body is not yet used to feeling safe in it. My dear, this is not something to judge. This is something to understand. Because your nervous system, your emotional patterns, they are simply trying to protect you based on what they've known. And now, you are teaching them something new. You are teaching your body that love can be calm, that love can be consistent, that love does not always come with loss. Take a slow breath and place your hand gently over your heart if you can. Feel that warmth, that steady rhythm. This is where your new foundation begins, not outside of you, but within you. And from this place, I want you to begin a small, gentle practice, nothing forced, nothing overwhelming, just awareness. When you find yourself overthinking someone's behavior, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, am I feeling safe or am I feeling anxious? Because healthy love does not thrive in anxiety. It thrives in safety, in clarity, in mutual presence. And the more you listen to this, the more you begin to trust yourself. Not just your thoughts, but your feelings, your body, your intuition. And this trust, it changes everything. Because you no longer need constant reassurance from others. You become your own anchor. Take another breath. Now, let me offer you something soft, something you can carry with you throughout your day. A gentle reminder, a quiet truth you can return to whenever doubt begins to rise. You can say, I am available for love that feels peaceful. I am open to connections that honor me. I no longer chase, I allow. I trust myself to recognize what is right for me. Let these words move through you, slowly, because they are not just affirmations. They are directions. They are guiding your energy, your attention, your choices, and over time, they begin to shape your reality. Not through force, but through consistency, through alignment, through becoming. My dear, you are not waiting for love. You are preparing for it. In the way you speak to yourself, in the way you honor your needs, in the way you choose peace over chaos, you are creating the space for something real to enter. And I know there may still be moments where doubt appears, moments where old patterns try to pull you back, moments where you feel tempted to settle, just to avoid the discomfort of waiting. And in those moments, I want you to pause, take a breath, and remember, you are not asking for too much. You are finally asking for what is right. And what is right for you will not require you to shrink. It will not require you to question your worth. It will not require you to feel like you are walking on emotional ground that could collapse at any moment. It will feel steady. It will feel mutual. It will feel like you can finally exhale. Stay with me, my dear. Take a gentle breath with me again, my dear. Slowly in and softly out. And just notice how you're feeling right now. Not with judgment, not with analysis, but with quiet awareness. Because something subtle is happening within you. You are no longer just listening. You are beginning to recognize yourself in these words. And that recognition, it's powerful. It means something inside you is waking up. It means you are no longer willing to settle for the kind of love that asks you to disappear. Stay here for a moment, because now we're going to walk a little deeper into the hidden patterns that once shaped your relationships, not to relive them, but to finally release them. You see, my dear, many of the relationships you experienced in the past were not random. They were reflections. Reflections of what you believed you deserved. Reflections of what you were familiar with. Reflections of what your heart had learned to tolerate in order to feel connected. And I know that realization can feel heavy at first. You might think, does that mean I chose pain? No, my dear. You didn't choose pain. You chose what felt known. You chose what your heart had been conditioned to recognize as love, even if it came wrapped in inconsistency, distance, or emotional confusion. Take a breath, because this is where compassion must enter. You were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at the time, and now you are seeing more clearly, and with clarity comes choice. But here is something very important I want you to understand. Awareness alone does not immediately break a pattern. It begins the process, but the transformation happens in the moments that follow, in the small decisions, in the quiet pauses, in the way you respond differently, even when it feels unfamiliar. Because patterns, my dear, are not just thoughts. They are emotional habits. They live in your body. They show up in how quickly you attach, how deeply you overgive, how silently you tolerate, and most importantly, they show up in what you accept without questioning. So now, I want to gently bring your attention to something, not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself more deeply. When you think about past connections, was there a moment early on where something didn't feel quite right? A subtle discomfort, a quiet hesitation, a small voice that whispered, "This might hurt me," and yet you stayed. Not because you were weak, but because a part of you hoped it would change, hoped your love would be enough, hoped that this time it would turn out differently. My dear, that hope, it came from your heart. But now, your wisdom is beginning to guide you. And wisdom does not ignore what the heart feels. It listens and it honors. Take a slow breath. This is where your power deepens. Because you are no longer here to repeat old stories. You are here to create a new experience of love. And that means something must change, not outside of you first, but within you. And I know that can feel challenging, because changing internally means facing parts of yourself that you may have avoided. The part that fears being alone, the part that seeks validation, the part that feels unworthy, even when love is present. But my dear, these parts are not your enemies. They are your younger self, asking to be seen, understood, and finally reassured. So instead of pushing them away, I want you to sit with them gently. When you feel the urge to chase someone's attention, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself softly, what am I really needing right now? Is it reassurance? Is it connection? Is it to feel chosen? And then, instead of immediately reaching outward, see if you can offer a piece of that to yourself. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough to remind your heart that you are not empty. You are learning to become full from within. And from that place, something extraordinary begins to happen. You no longer approach relationships from hunger, You approach them from wholeness. And when you are no longer hungry for validation, you become very clear about what truly nourishes you. Take a breath. Now let me share something that may shift everything for you. Healthy, loving, balanced relationships are not created by finding the perfect person. They are created by two people who are emotionally available, self-aware, and willing to meet each other in truth. And that means you are not looking for someone to fix you. You are not looking for someone to complete you. You are allowing someone to walk beside you as you continue becoming who you already are. Do you feel the difference? It's soft, but it's powerful. Because now, love is not a solution. It is an experience that flows, that grows, that evolves without forcing, without fear. Take another slow breath, and let's talk about something even deeper. Receiving, because my dear, you are not just learning how to choose better relationships, you are learning how to receive better love. And receiving requires openness. It requires trust. It requires a willingness to let your guard soften, just enough to allow something new to enter. But I know, trusting again can feel vulnerable, especially if you've been hurt before, especially if you've opened your heart and felt it close too quickly, too painfully. So let's move gently here. You don't have to trust everything or everyone all at once. You only have to begin by trusting yourself, trusting that you will notice the signs, trusting that you will honor your feelings, trusting that you will walk away if something no longer aligns. This is how safety is rebuilt, not through control, but through self-trust. Take a breath and place your awareness here. I trust myself to choose what is right for me. Let that settle. Because this is the foundation of every healthy relationship you will experience. Not perfection, but trust. Now, I want to offer you a few soft affirmations, not as something to memorize, but as something to feel. You can let them move through your mind like a quiet rhythm. I am worthy of love that feels safe. I am open to relationships that are balanced and mutual. I release the need to chase. I allow what aligns. I trust myself to recognize what is healthy for me. I welcome love that meets me with honesty and consistency. Let each one land gently, because you are not just saying these words, you are becoming them. And the more you embody this energy, the more your external world begins to reflect it. Not instantly, but inevitably. Take a slow breath. Now, there is one last thing I want you to hold on to as we close this part together. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing your chance at love. Everything you have experienced, every lesson, every moment of clarity has been preparing you, not for just any relationship, but for the right one, the one that aligns with who you are becoming now, not who you used to be. So be patient with yourself, be gentle with your process, and most importantly, do not rush into something just because it feels familiar. Because what is familiar is not always what is right. And what is right for you will feel different, calmer, clearer, safer, like something your soul recognizes. Even if your past does not, Take a slow, gentle breath with me, my dear. Let it fill your chest, and then release it softly. And just notice how different you feel now compared to when we began. There is a quiet strength forming inside you, isn't there? Not loud, not forceful, but steady. Like something within you has finally decided, I will no longer abandon myself to be loved. Stay with that feeling, because now, this is where everything begins to become real. Not just something you understand, but something you live. You see, my dear, it's one thing to realize that you deserve healthy, loving, balanced relationships, but it's another thing to embody that truth in your everyday life. And embodiment, it happens in the smallest moments, not in grand gestures, not in dramatic decisions, but in the quiet, almost invisible choices you make again and again. The way you respond to a message, the way you handle silence, the way you speak to yourself when something feels uncertain. This is where your new life is being created. Take a breath. Let me gently walk you into this. Imagine this moment. You meet someone, or you're already speaking to someone, and in the past, you might have felt that familiar pull, the urge to impress, the urge to respond quickly, perfectly, the urge to keep the connection alive, even when something feels slightly off. But now, something inside you pauses, not out of fear, but out of awareness. And in that pause, you ask yourself, am I being myself right now, or am I trying to be chosen? Do you feel how powerful that question is? Because that single moment, that tiny pause, it interrupts the old pattern. It creates space for a different choice. And maybe, just maybe, instead of overextending yourself, you relax. You breathe. You allow the interaction to unfold naturally. No forcing, no performing, just presence. And my dear, this is what alignment looks like in real life. It's not dramatic. It's subtle, but it changes everything. Take another slow breath. Now, I want you to notice something even deeper. In the past, you may have measured connection by intensity, how quickly it started, how strong it felt, how consuming it became. But now, you are learning to measure connection by something else. Consistency, emotional safety, clarity, because intensity can be misleading. It can feel like passion, but often it's just uncertainty mixed with hope. And your body, your nervous system, it gets pulled into that cycle. The highs, the lows, the anticipation, the doubt, and it becomes addictive. Familiar, but my dear, healthy love does not feel like a roller coaster. It feels like steady ground beneath your feet. It feels like knowing, not guessing. It feels like calm, not chaos. So now, when something feels overwhelming, confusing, or inconsistent, you don't chase it. You observe it. You step back gently and ask yourself, does this feel like peace, or does this feel like a pattern? And then you honor your answer, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it means walking away from something that almost felt right. because almost is no longer enough for you. You are no longer here for potential. You are here for alignment. Take a breath. Now let's bring this into your daily life in a way that feels soft and real. When you wake up in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you think about anyone else, place your awareness on yourself and gently remind your heart, I am worthy of love that feels safe and balanced, not rushed, not complicated, not uncertain, just safe. And throughout your day, notice how you treat yourself, because the way you love yourself quietly teaches others how to love you. If you rush yourself, if you ignore your own needs, if you silence your feelings, you send a message, not just to others, but to your own mind, that your needs are secondary. But when you slow down, when you listen to yourself, when you honor what feels right and what doesn't, you begin to build a new internal standard. And that standard, it becomes your filter. You no longer have to figure out if someone is right for you. You feel it. You recognize it. Because it either matches your internal world or it doesn't. Take a slow breath. Now, let me gently guide you into a small practice. Something simple. Something you can return to anytime you feel uncertain. When you notice yourself overthinking someone, pause. Close your eyes if you can, and ask yourself, how does this connection make me feel in my body? Not what they said, not what you hope, not what you fear, but what you feel. Do you feel relaxed or tense? Do you feel open or guarded? Do you feel at ease or on edge? Your body knows. My dear, long before your mind tries to explain. And the more you listen, the more you trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the less you settle. Take another breath. Now, I want to gently speak to something that may still linger within you. The fear of being alone. Because sometimes, even when we know something isn't right, we stay. Because the silence feels heavier than the discomfort. Because the unknown feels more frightening than the familiar. But my dear, being alone is not the same as being empty. And staying in the wrong connection does not protect you from loneliness. It deepens it, because you begin to lose connection with yourself. And you are the most important relationship you will ever have. So if you ever find yourself in that space where you're holding on to something just to avoid being alone, I want you to pause, take a breath, and gently remind yourself, I would rather be at peace alone than feel disconnected in someone's presence. Let that truth settle, because it is not a statement of loneliness. It is a declaration of self-respect. Take a slow breath. Now, let's come back to something soft, something grounding. A few gentle affirmations you can carry with you, not as pressure, but as comfort. I choose love that chooses me back. I honor my needs without guilt. I trust what feels calm and clear. I release anything that requires me to shrink. I am safe to receive consistent, healthy love. Let each word land slowly, because repetition, my dear, is how your inner world begins to shift. Not overnight, but steadily, gently, surely. And over time, you will notice something beautiful. You will no longer feel drawn to what once attracted you. The patterns will lose their pull. The chaos will no longer feel exciting. The inconsistency will no longer feel acceptable. And instead, you will find yourself drawn to peace, to clarity, to someone who meets you without games, without confusion, without emotional distance. And when that happens, you won't question it. You won't overanalyze it. You will recognize it, because it will feel like everything you've been becoming. Take one last breath with me for now, and just feel the calm, the steadiness, the quiet confidence growing within you. You are not chasing love anymore. You are aligning with it. And my dear, that changes everything. Take one more slow breath with me, my dear. Gently in and softly out. And just feel how far you've come in this moment. Not in distance, but in awareness. Not in time, but in truth. Because something inside you is no longer the same. There is a quiet knowing now, a soft but steady voice within you that says, I am no longer available for anything less than what I deserve. Stay there for a moment. Let that settle into your chest, into your heart, into the very space where you once held doubt, confusion, and longing. Because now that space is being filled with something new: clarity, self-trust, peace. And my dear, this is where everything gently comes together. You are no longer the version of yourself who begged for clarity. You are the one who walks away from confusion. You are no longer the version of yourself who overgave to be loved. You are the one who allows love to meet you naturally. You are no longer the version of yourself who stayed, hoping things would change. You are the one who chooses what is already aligned. Take a breath, because this is what it means to truly say, I deserve healthy, loving, balanced relationships. It is not just a statement. It is a decision, a quiet, powerful, unwavering decision. And now I want you to feel into something even deeper. Close your eyes just for a moment, if you can, and imagine yourself not searching, not waiting, not questioning, but living your life fully, peacefully, with a sense of wholeness that does not depend on anyone else. You wake up feeling grounded. You move through your day with calm confidence. You no longer check your phone with anxiety. You no longer replay conversations in your mind. You are present. You are at ease. You are enough. And then, from that place, love enters, not as something you needed to complete you, but as something that adds to the peace you already have. Can you feel the difference? This is not love as a rescue. This is love as a reflection of who you have become. Take a slow breath. Now, I want to gently speak to the final layer of this journey. Trust, because, my dear, everything you've opened within yourself, everything you've softened, everything you've shifted, it all leads here, trusting the process, trusting your timing, trusting that what is meant for you is not something you can miss. And I know this can be the hardest part, because the mind wants certainty. It wants to know when, how, who. It wants guarantees. But love, real love, does not arrive on a timeline you can control. It arrives when alignment is present. And alignment is what you have been creating, step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. So instead of asking, when will it happen? I want you to rest in this knowing. It is unfolding, even now. Even in moments where it feels quiet, even in moments where nothing seems to be happening, there are things shifting behind the scenes, within you and beyond you, bringing you closer, not just to someone, but to the experience of love you are truly ready to receive. Take a breath. Now, let me leave you with something soft, something you can carry with you long after this moment fades, a gentle rhythm of truth that you can return to whenever you feel unsure. I trust the love that is meant for me. I am no longer chasing. I am allowing. I am worthy of consistency, honesty, and emotional safety. I release what is not aligned with ease. I welcome love that feels like peace. Let each word move through you slowly, because this is not about convincing yourself. This is about remembering who you are, remembering what you deserve, remembering that love was never meant to hurt you, confuse you, or make you feel small. Love, real love, expands you, supports you, meets you fully. Take one last deep breath with me, and as you exhale, just let everything soften. The urgency, the doubt, the need to figure everything out, let it all gently fall away, because you don't need to have all the answers right now. You only need to stay connected to yourself, to your truth, to your worth. And my dear, as you move forward from this moment, I want you to walk a little slower. Not because you are unsure, but because you are no longer in a rush to prove anything. You are allowing life and love to meet you where you are. And where you are is already enough. You are already becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts healthy, loving, balanced relationships. Not by trying harder, but by being truer to your feelings, truer to your needs, truer to your inner voice. And that truth, it will guide you gently but surely into the kind of love that does not confuse you, does not hurt you, does not leave you questioning, but instead feels like home. So rest in that, my dear. Rest in the knowing that the love you deserve is not far away. It is finding you, just as you are finding yourself. And you don't have to chase it anymore, because now you are ready to receive it.